How many times have you been told you have so much potential, only to go home, look in the mirror, and feel like an absolute fraud? It is a strange, quiet kind of torture to know you are capable of greatness, to feel the spark of talent burning inside you, and yet watch people with half your ability breeze right past you in life. You see them landing the promotions, launching the businesses, and finishing the creative projects you have been dreaming about for years. Meanwhile, you are stuck in place, overthinking your next move, paralyzed by the gap between who you are and who you know you could be. This is the curse of the unfulfilled, talented individual. It is a phenomenon that the legendary Swiss psychiatrist Carl Jung understood deeply. Jung observed that talent on its own is not a gift. It is actually a profound psychological demand. It is a reservoir of raw, chaotic energy that, if left unchanneled, doesn't just evaporate. It turns inward. It becomes a source of self-doubt, anxiety, and eventually, a subtle, chronic bitterness that can poison your entire life. Think of your talent like a fast-flowing river. If you build a dam and direct that water, you can generate enough electricity to power a whole city. But if you just let the water sit there with nowhere to go, it doesn't stay beautiful. It stagnates. It floods the surrounding land. It becomes toxic. That is exactly what happens to your mind when you possess high potential, but refuse to do the heavy, often boring work of bringing it into the real world. To understand why so many gifted people get stuck, you have to look at how you handle your own inner world. Jung introduced a concept that explains this perfectly: the tension of opposites. Inside you, there is a constant war raging between who you are right now and the idealized version of who you want to become. When you are highly talented, you probably spend a lot of time living in your head. You can see the masterpiece you want to paint, the book you want to write, or the business you want to build. In your mind, it is flawless. Because you have high standards and good taste, your mental vision is incredibly sophisticated. But here is the trap. The moment you pick up the pen, or open the laptop, or try to take that first messy step, you realize something terrifying. Your actual execution is clumsy. It doesn't match the beautiful vision in your head. And so you stop. You put the pen down. You tell yourself you will wait until the timing is better, or until you have more energy, or until you have researched a little bit more. But let's be honest with ourselves here. You are not waiting for a better time. You are running away from the pain of being a beginner. When you have natural talent, you get used to things coming easily to you. Maybe back in school, you didn't have to study as hard as the other kids to get decent grades. Maybe you noticed you could pick up new skills faster than your peers. This early praise creates a fragile ego. You start to tie your entire self-worth to being the smart one, the creative one, the talented one. The danger of this identity is that it makes you terrified of failure. If you try your absolute hardest at something and you fail, then in your mind, it means you are not actually talented. It means you are a fraud. So unconsciously, your brain develops a very clever defense mechanism: procrastination. By procrastinating, you create a perfect excuse. If you write that essay at the very last minute, pull an all-nighter, and get a mediocre grade, you can tell yourself, well, if I had actually started a week ago, I would have aced it. If you launch that business half-heartedly and it fails, you can say, I wasn't really trying anyway. Procrastination is not a time management problem. It is an emotional regulation problem. It is a shield you use to protect your fragile ego from the harsh reality of the world. You would rather be a lazy genius in your own mind than a struggling, hardworking amateur in the eyes of everyone else. This brings us to one of Jung's most famous concepts, the persona. The persona is the mask you wear for society. It is the image you present to make others think you are successful, competent, and put together. For the talented person who isn't succeeding, the persona is often built around potential. You love it when people say you have so much promise. You enjoy the feeling of being the dark horse, the underrated genius who just hasn't had their big break yet. But while you are busy polishing this mask, you are completely ignoring your shadow. The shadow in Jungian psychology represents the parts of yourself that you deny, reject, or hide away. It is the home of your darkest impulses, but it is also the source of your rawest creative energy, your ambition, and your drive. For the stuck intellectual, the shadow contains something you might find highly offensive: your capacity for aggression and your need for power. You might pride yourself on being a nice person. You don't want to step on anyone's toes. You don't want to be arrogant. You don't want to put your work out there and scream, look at me. So you stay quiet, polite, and passive. You wait to be discovered. Jung had a very blunt wake-up call for people like this. He believed that if you do not integrate your shadow, you remain weak. You cannot be truly good unless you have the capacity to be formidable. If you are harmless, you are not being moral, you are just being impotent. To break out of the trap of unrealized potential, you have to reclaim that aggressive, ambitious energy from your shadow. You have to admit to yourself that you actually do want to succeed. You do want to be recognized. You do want to make an impact. And yes, that means you have to risk being disliked, judged, or criticized. It means you have to step into the arena and fight, rather than sitting in the stands critiquing the players. Imagine you have a friend who is an incredibly gifted singer. They have a voice that could move people to tears, but instead of performing, they only sing in the shower. They spend hours reading books about vocal technique. They buy expensive microphones. They tell you about the albums they want to record. But whenever you suggest they play an open mic night, they make an excuse. They say the venue is too small, or the crowd won't appreciate their style, or they need to practice for another 6 months. After a few years of this, how would you look at them? You would still love them, but you would start to feel a sense of pity. You would realize that their talent has become a prison. Their endless preparation is just a sophisticated way of hiding. Are you doing the same thing in your own life? Are you buying more books, signing up for more courses, and planning your next move, all to avoid the terrifying act of actually doing the work? Jung argued that the ultimate goal of human life is individuation. This is the psychological journey of integrating all the different parts of yourself. The conscious mind, the subconscious, the persona, and the shadow, to become the unique individual you were always meant to be. Individuation is not about being perfect. It is about becoming whole. But you cannot become whole if you are leaving your talent dormant. When you refuse to express your gifts, you are committing a slow, spiritual suicide. The energy that should be going toward creation starts turning into neurosis. You become hypercritical of others. You look at people who are actually putting themselves out there, and you find flaws in their work. You tell yourself, I could do that so much better. Maybe you could, but you aren't, and they are. The person who is less talented than you, but who actually shows up every day, works through the embarrassment of being bad at first, and consistently puts their work into the world, will always beat the talented person who stays home hiding behind their potential. If you want to break this cycle, you have to change your relationship with discomfort. You have to stop treating anxiety as a sign that you should turn back. In fact, Jung suggested that where your fear is, there is your task. Think about that for a second. The exact thing you are avoiding, whether it is launching that project, having that difficult conversation, or committing to a boring daily routine, is precisely what you need to do to grow. Your fear is not a barrier. It is a compass. It is pointing directly at the gate you need to walk through. But walking through that gate requires you to give up something very comfortable, your fantasy of greatness. As long as you don't try, you can keep believing that you could be the best in the world if you just wanted to. The moment you try, you have to face your actual limitations. You have to accept that your first draft is going to be mediocre. You have to accept that you might get rejected. You have to accept that you are, in many ways, just an ordinary person who has to work hard to get what they want. This is a massive blow to the ego, but it is also incredibly liberating. When you accept that you don't have to be a flawless genius right out of the gate, the pressure evaporates. You are finally free to play, to experiment, to make mistakes, and to actually learn. You transition from a state of passive waiting to active building. So, how do you actually start doing this in your daily life? First, you need to establish what Jung called a container. Raw talent is like fire. If you throw a match into a forest, you get a destructive wildfire. But if you put that fire inside an engine, you can drive a car across the country. The container is your discipline, your routine, and your boundaries. You need to stop waiting for inspiration to strike. Inspiration is for amateurs. The professionals show up and go to work every single day, regardless of how they feel. If you only write when you feel like writing, or only work on your business when you are feeling motivated, you will never build anything of lasting value. Create a small, non-negotiable daily commitment. Do not promise yourself that you will write for 4 hours a day, or work out for 2 hours every morning. You will fail at that within a week, feel guilty, and abandon the effort entirely. Instead, commit to 30 minutes of focused, uninterrupted work on your highest priority task every single morning. No phone, no email, no excuses. During those 30 minutes, You are not allowed to do anything else. You don't have to produce masterpiece work. You just have to sit in the chair and face the resistance. If you write one bad paragraph, that is a victory. If you write down 3 messy ideas for your business, that is a victory. You are training your brain to tolerate the discomfort of creation. Second, you have to stop comparing your beginning to someone else's middle. In a world dominated by social media, it is easier than ever to fall into the comparison trap. You see people your age, or even younger, who seem to have achieved everything you want. You see their highlights, their awards, and their polished finished products. And then you look at your messy room, your unfinished drafts, and your confusing thoughts, and you feel utterly defeated. But you are comparing your messy, unfiltered internal reality with their highly curated, edited public persona. You don't see the thousands of hours of frustration, the failed attempts, the sleepless nights, and the moments of deep self-doubt they went through to get there. Your only point of comparison should be the person you were yesterday. Are you slightly more focused today than you were yesterday? Did you take one small step toward your goal, even if it was clumsy? If the answer is yes, you are winning. Finally, you need to find a way to serve something larger than yourself. One of the biggest reasons talented people get stuck is that they are entirely self-focused. They are constantly worrying about how they look, how they will be judged, and whether they are fulfilling their potential. This self-absorption is exhausting. It paralyzes you. When you shift your focus from what can I get from the world to what can I give to the world, everything changes. Your talent is not actually yours. It is a gift that has been loaned to you, and you have a responsibility to use it to serve others. If you have a gift for words, write things that help people make sense of their lives. If you have a gift for organization, build systems that make people's lives easier. If you have a gift for art, create things that bring beauty and meaning to a world that desperately needs it. When you realize your work is not about you, you stop worrying so much about your ego. You stop caring if you look foolish. You just want to help. You just want to contribute. And that shift in perspective is often the very thing that unlocks your true power. Carl Jung once wrote that the most damaging thing in the life of a child is the unlived life of the parent. Think about that. If you do not find a way to express your potential, you do not just hurt yourself. You create an atmosphere of resentment and regret that affects everyone around you. You pass that heavy burden down to your children, your partner, and your friends. Do you really want to look back on your life in 30 or 40 years and realize that your greatest achievement was just having potential? Do you want to be the person who sat on the sidelines, pointing out how things could have been done better, while never having the courage to build anything yourself? You have the fire inside you. You have the raw material, but the world does not reward potential. It rewards execution. It is time to let go of the fantasy of being a flawless genius. It is time to embrace the messy, clumsy, beautiful reality of being a creator. Stop waiting for the perfect moment. Stop waiting until you feel ready. You are never going to feel ready. Take that messy first step today. Write the bad first paragraph. Design the ugly first draft. Make the awkward phone call. Show the world, and more importantly, show yourself what you are actually made of. What is the one project you have been putting off because you are afraid it won't be perfect? Tell me in the comments below, and let's talk about how you can take the first step toward bringing it to life this week.